Yo, it was a nightmare from hell, I'm not gonna lie. Like you think that the oysters are gonna be an aphrodisiac, but they're the opposite at that point. Oh man, it's so funny.
I'm gonna be
All right.
careful from now on. I actually like oysters.
I love oysters, bro, but I just ate them too late. Like they had been sitting out for like 20, 30 minutes, and I think I ate them
Uh-huh.
a little bit too late. Oh man. Definitely not a good date.
Uh-huh.
Definitely
Gotta be
not
careful,
good.
huh, with them.
Yeah, you got to be very careful with oysters and just seafood in general. Sometimes it's not like meat. But welcome everybody. Welcome to our Divine Fi overview call for today. It is Monday, July 29th here in the Philippines. Oh wow, we're starting right at 11:11 here. Awesome. And it's the 29th, which is an 11 day. Perfect. 11:11:11. Some awesome synchronicities. I'm excited to be on this call with you guys. If you're on here for the very first time watching this, I really want to encourage you to watch the information that I'm going to present to you today with an open mind. One of my mentors a long time ago, he said that your mind is very similar to a parachute. It works best if it's open. So that's really the only requirement as you're viewing this information, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, any of the different platforms, just view the info with an open mind. And at the end of the presentation, which might take 30 minutes, 45 minutes, you're going to be given a choice to make a decision, whether all yes or whether no. So with that being said, I'm going to get into the info here today. If you don't know who I am, my name is Sam Hidja. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer here at Divinfi. And I want to welcome you to the biggest launch in history. And I don't say that lightly because our vision here is to create an ecosystem that brings freedom to all 8 billion people here on Earth, whether that's financial, location, time, or emotional freedom. I always, maybe you're like yourself, I've always wanted to just be free ever since I was a young kid. Kids, we love recess, we love PE, we love just being free. That's essentially our natural state. And I wanted to be free. I didn't really know what that meant. And coming from a very poor family that traveled to the US at the age, I mean, I was 1 year, 1.5. I didn't have a lot of money. And so what I thought that meant was just being financially free. And so at the age of 18, after dropping out of college, I ended up getting into the car exporting business and getting mentored in that industry. And I earned my first six-figure income at the age of 18, which is pretty good back in 2011. Back in 2011. Caesar, my dream was to have a brother and friend like you. That is so sweet. So, I just wanted to be financially free. That's really what I wanted. I didn't know that that was just a piece of the pie, not the whole pie. And so at the age of 18, I made pretty decent money, but I was working 80 hours a week. I was literally losing my health, living off of cigarettes and Red Bulls, just literally driving all over. And my health was depreciating. I didn't have much time to spend with friends and family. And so I wanted something different. And so a couple of years later, I got introduced to somebody that was in the industry of network marketing. And he was just an entrepreneur overall. He did many different things. And, he was living like this movie star lifestyle, flying on private jets, had three supercars, retired his parents at the age of 23. And so I thought that was amazing at that time. I didn't really have any reference points. And so I got mentored by him for a while. And then I got introduced to several different industries after that. I got introduced to affiliate marketing, direct sales, e-commerce, forex, crypto trading, coaching, rental arbitrage, all of these different industries. And then I earned millions and millions of dollars over the last 10 years. And then I was able to fly and traveled to 25 different countries. I was able to just be really just free in every single sense, whether it was location, time freedom. I was able to help dozens of others earn a six-figure plus income. And I realized that that still wasn't all, right? There was still more to it, to becoming free. And it became apparent to me back in the second half of 2023. In June, I ended up flying to East Asia and Southeast Asia and just traveling for the last 6 months of the year with my wife at the time. And so it started to become super apparent because we were having a lot of issues in the marriage. And I started waking up with like major anxiety, depression, panic attacks that they were debilitating. I would wake up, I wasn't be able to do anything. It got so bad that I literally thought about committing suicide. And so this is after 10 years of personal development, right? This is 10 years of reading thousands of books, going to seminars and workshops and doing energy work and leadership workshops and name it, getting certified with Bob Proctor, all of these different personal quote unquote development that I had done over the last 10 years, none of that helped me. I was still dealing with all of my BS. And then I went through a divorce, which was really hard as well after being married for 4 years. And then after that, to top it off, shortly, maybe like 2 weeks after that, I landed myself in jail in Bali, Indonesia, where I spent 6 days in a jail and then 17 days in a rehab facility because I was smoking weed every single day for 12 years. And I brought some with me from Thailand to Bali, which is highly, highly illegal. And then they made me pay $50,000 US just to get out of jail. So it was pretty crazy. And I believe as humans, we're either motivated by inspiration or by desperation. And so I got really, really desperate and I needed to find a way out of this self-created prison that I had for myself. So after getting out of jail, my buddy Jamie, who's the CEO of this ecosystem, he introduced me, or not introduced me, but he actually tells me, hey, come meet Don in person. Because I met Don on a Zoom call about a year prior. So he's like, come to the Philippines, meet this guy, Don. So who's Don? Don is this guy that you can't even really put into words. He had been mentoring Jamie. Sorry, he's been mentoring Jamie for the last 4 years. Don had been creating this transformational program over the last 44 years, and he had worked with 8 billionaires as his personal clients. He had worked with the guys that created the BlackBerry, and he actually took them from $6 billion a year to 68 billion. Okay. And then he also worked with elite athletes at the Olympic level in 15 different sports. He worked with cancer patients and just like he had like this very wide array of clients that he had helped in so many different ways, whether financially, whether emotionally, whether health wise, it didn't really matter. He was able to help them in so many different ways. And so I ended up seeing Don and doing his process in person, which only takes 2 hours. And after those 2 hours, all the anxiety, depression, panic attacks, suicidal thoughts completely gone within 2 hours. All of the addictions that I had been suffering with for the last 12 years, maybe even more, right? The marijuana, the sex addiction, the travel addiction, the money addiction, the people pleasing, the validation, all of these things that were taking away from my true power completely gone just like that. It was a 2 hour process, but really it's instant, just like that. So it was extremely powerful. So I'll tell you how this works. So for reference, there's this scale. It's called the consciousness scale, which was created by a guy named Dr. Hawkins, who wrote a book called Power versus Force. And so in this book, Power versus Force, Hawkins talks about every single emotion that we experience goes from a level 0 to 1,000, with shame being at a level 20, fear being at a level 100, courage is 200, joy is 540, and enlightenment is a 700 to 1,000. So for reference, a guy named Hitler, which we know what he did, he was operating at a level 50. Okay, he was operating at a level 50. 80% of the world's population today is actually underneath this line right here, which is they're under 210, 80% of the world's population. And 80% of those 80% are actually at the level of fear. Fear of losing their job, fear of losing their partner, fear of losing their life. Just fear. And the thing is fear, it stands for false evidence appearing real. It's just an illusion. Fear is just an illusion. 99% of the time, we're fearful of something that never ever happens. So they say that fear is basically like praying to the devil, right? It's like it's praying for something that you don't want to happen. Okay, now the level of enlightenment, which all the great masters, all the great teachers, they were operating at the level 1000, whether it was Abraham, Moses, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Krishna, Zoroaster, all of the great teachers that roamed this earth that were preaching, what they were trying to tell you and I, to tell the people, was that enlightenment was our natural state. That is your natural state. That is you and I's natural state. And so what happens is that there's a moment in time before the age of 7 that keeps us anchored in these lower frequencies. So imagine being at the very bottom of the ocean, you have an anchor tied to you. And every time you try to swim to the top of the ocean, you go 30% up, this anchor drags you back down. You go 30% up, this anchor drags you back down. So what Don helps you do, because he's not doing anything for you, he's just helping you release the thing that has been holding you back your whole life. He helps you release this anchor so you can naturally go to the natural state that you've always had within you. Just think about if you're a father or a mother, imagine the first time you saw your child. Or if you don't have kids like myself, I remember my younger brother being born, and that pure being that that baby is, that is enlightenment, and that is who you are. And so you are freed of this energetic anchor that is holding you back from your natural state of pure being. That's what Don does. It's simple. So he has 2 classes a week. It's a group class, and Tuesdays are for new clients, Thursdays are for existing clients. So we're actually going to be doing, if you're watching this live, we're going to be doing a free class this Tuesday because where we are in the world right now, we need to shift something. There's literally 26 wars happening today, many genocides. Where I'm from Palestine, and you guys know what's happening in Palestine with this massive genocide. People don't know, but it's been happening for 75 years. You know, it didn't just start back in last year. It's been happening for 75 years. So there needs to be a transformation, not of ending the war, but shifting the humanity's consciousness. And so that's what Don's ultimate goal is, to help us shift into our consciousness, our natural consciousness of enlightenment. And so we only need 114 individuals holding this consciousness level of 700, because one person at 700 counteracts 70 million people underneath the 200 consciousness. So when we did the math, 114 people holding the 700 consciousness will completely transform all 8 billion people here on Earth. So if you're watching this, I urge you to be a part of it. And I just know that this is the solution. It's not about creating more nonprofits and donating money and all this stuff, which is great. But without shifting humanity's consciousness, we're going to continue all the wars, all the fear, all the greed. And so the work has to be done within us to shift the world first. So my question to you is, are you going to be one of the 114? Now, our system is consisted of 2 parts. Number one is the consciousness side, which Don handles, and then we have the currency side. Because first we need to shift the consciousness, then we need to help people earn income, have the currency as well, because you need both. And I'll give you an example as how this works. So Don had a client, his name was Tim. He was a multi-billionaire. And so Tim, he had all the money in the world, but he was dealing with many, many internal conflicts. He had five addictions. He had a gambling addiction, a food addiction, drugs, alcohol, and sex. He had five addictions. He was going through a divorce. He had so much anxiety and he was having so many panic attacks that he literally couldn't fly on his $100 million jet. So he had all the money in the world, but he didn't have the conscious side of things. So one of Don's clients referred Tim because they were friends. Tim goes through the process with Don. Within 2 hours, Tim is completely freed of all of the things that have been keeping him in this self-created prison. So now Tim has both the money and the consciousness. He can do good in the world because you need both. The consciousness, so you can actually operate from this place of pure potentiality, pure love, existence, pure being. And then you need the money as well so you can affect the world in a positive way. So we created this system so people can have both the consciousness and the currency. So right here we have our AI. It's called Apollo. And AI is really taking storm in the world. Some people are afraid of it, some people embrace it. Personally, I don't think that fear is anything that is going to help us grow and evolve as humans. So the whole AI thing is really a way to keep people in fear so they stay slave. I'm sorry to say. Could AI one day become rogue and attack humans? Possibly, but I'd rather not focus on the negative and I'd rather utilize it for the positive. People are using AI so much that they trust it so much that they get into their Tesla, they put the GPS to their location, and their Tesla using AI will drive them to their location. I was living in Dubai. In the next couple of months, Dubai is going to be one of the first places in the world for robo taxis. So you just get into a taxi, there's no driver, and it will literally take you to your location, which is crazy because the taxi drivers are already not making enough money, and now these AI are going to come and take in their jobs. But this is also why it's important to figure out different streams of income. Because if you're not adapting and you're not innovating, I'm sorry to say, but AI is gonna replace you. If it can do a better job than you at your job, why would they keep you there? It's just something to think about. So we actually are using AI for a benefit. And so, if you could trust AI with your life in a car, you can trust it to grow your bank account. And so that's exactly what we've done. We met the developer in Dubai. He had been developing this AI since 2017, and it had been doing really amazing stuff. It's trading crypto futures, and in the last few years, it's been doing 28% returns on average. That's the average. There have been months like, it says right here that 20 to 50%. That's the range that we've seen. Could it do less than 20%? Sure. And could it do more than 50%? Yes. We've seen months where there was 70, 80% returns. In fact, just this last 30 days, it did 54%. We'll see what it's going to do the next 30 days because we're getting ready to go on a bull run. The 54% that it did this last 30 days, that was with a 25% drop in the Bitcoin, just in Bitcoin, right? Not even talking about the other altcoins and the rest of the market. Some of the other altcoins, they went down 35%, 45%. With Bitcoin, the most major asset, which had a market cap of $1 trillion, it went down 25%, and this AI still came out with 54% profits, which is absolutely amazing. If you don't know anything about crypto, you don't need to, because this is completely hands-free. All you got to do is set it and forget it. And so what's really cool is when we first talked to the developer, it was the minimum account deposit that you needed was 100,000 US dollars. That was like the minimum that he had for his clients. We put up the 100,000 and we told the developer like, hey, we want to open this up for a community. What's the lowest that you can drop it to? So first he said 10,000. We're like, that's not going to work. So he dropped it to 1,000. So the minimum is 1,000 USD. It used to be 100,000. Now it's 1,000. So you can get in at literally 1% of what it normally would have taken because you're a part of our ecosystem. So just to wrap this part up, past performance is not indicative of future results. Like I said, it could do less than 20%. It could do more than 50%. You just never know. Okay. Now, let's talk about compound interest. This guy, Albert Einstein, he says it best. He said, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it, and he who doesn't pays it. So this is the power of compounding. And so I'm going to share with you the compounding calculator that I show everybody and how this can actually become almost like a savings account on steroids. Okay, almost like a savings account on steroids. Because nowadays, if you're looking at the US dollar, which we have some clients in the US, but it doesn't really matter if you're in the US or if you're in Australia or if you're in Europe or if you're in Brazil or South Africa, all of the currency in the world is actually pegged to the US dollar. Okay, and the US dollar is losing about 1% in purchasing power a month due to hyperinflation, due to printing. So let's say you started with 1,000 US dollars and you were earning 10% interest rate. And the reason why I'm doing 10%, because the one thing I forgot to say is that the caveat with the AI is that you are doing a 50-50 split with the developer. So if you did 20% in a month, you're splitting 10%. If you did 50% in a month, you're splitting 25%. Okay, so at $1,000, 20%, that's 200 bucks profit. You take 100, he takes 100. At 50%, that's $500. You take 250, he takes 250. Okay, so very simple. $1,000, 10% interest, compounded for 5 years, not negative 14. 10% monthly for 5 years. I'm going to show you something pretty cool. So if you start at $1,000, compounded 10% that month, you'd earn $100 in interest your first month. You now have an ending balance of $1,100. 10% compounded at $1,100. $110 in interest. Now you have $1,210 ending balance. 10% on $1,210, you have $121. You have a total balance of $1,331. Let's go to month 8. Month 8, you'd have $194.87 that you earn in that month. You'd have a total balance of $2,143. So in 8 months, you would have more than doubled your account. So 1,000 to 2,000, you more than doubled it, meaning you did more than 100% return in 8 months. So if you had your money sitting in your savings account for 100 years, you wouldn't even be able to get this much of a return. And within 100 years, you would definitely win that. I mean, first of all, I don't know if the US dollar is going to be around in 100 years. Second of all, that wouldn't even counteract the amount of interest that you would, or the amount of hyperinflation that would have happened on your money. So this is pretty crazy. In 8 months, you more than doubled your account. In 12 months, in a year, you would have 3138. In 24 months, you would have earned almost $900 in interest in that 1 month. You'd have almost $10,000. In 3 years, you'd earn 2810 in a single month. You'd have $30,912. In 48 months, you'd have 8819. You'd have a total balance of $97,017. And then in 60 months, 5 years, you'd earn a $27,680.15. And then you have a total balance of $304,481.64. Absolutely nuts. Now, is this for sure 100% going to happen? I'm not saying that, but what I'm trying to show you is the power of compounding. Also, you have full control, meaning you can pull out your money at any time, even if it's day two. There's no lockup period, there's nothing, you know, you're in control from day one. So if you want to pull it out, you need to use it for something, that's all on you. But how I would use it is I would use it as a savings account on steroids, because you having it in a savings account, it's literally just losing value month after month, year after year. So you might as well put into something that's going to compound you, and if it's not this, then what? I mean, find something at least to do 1% a month. Even a high yield savings account is maybe doing 5 to 10% a year, maybe. Even with that, you're still losing. You're still losing because it's literally, the US dollar is literally losing value every single month, 1%. Now, let's talk about being an entrepreneur or an investor. So this guy right here, Robert Kiyosaki, he wrote a book called The Cash Flow Quadrant. And so there's 4 quadrants. There's the E, which is employee. So as an employee, you work a job, you work from 9 to 5, you get paid from 9 to 5. Okay, so as an employee, you're only getting paid on your time and your efforts. Okay, so let's say you work at a smoothie shop, you're working from 9 to 5, and then one day you're like, you know what? I don't want to work a job anymore. I don't want to have a job anymore. I'm going to go open up my own smoothie shop. So as a self-employed business owner, you don't have a job anymore. You own a job. Your job owns you. So the reason why I say that your job owns you, or I mean, sorry, your business owns you, is because you cannot move freely the way that you want. You can't just go take 4 or 5 months off. Your job, your quote unquote business, literally needs you because you're the lifeblood of the business. And so even if you have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 employees, it doesn't matter. You still need to be there managing them. And so you might have a little bit of independence, but you're still tied to your business. And so as a self-employed business owner, you're also getting paid off of your time and your efforts. Now, if you want to have financial freedom, it's from shifting from this side to this side. On this side, you're getting paid off of leverage. So as a business owner, you have a system, and a system simply stands for saving yourself some time, energy, money. Saving yourself some time, energy, and money. And so let's take Elon Musk, for example. I'm going to round it down because he has more than 100,000, but let's just say he has 100,000 employees. Each one of those employees work 8 hours in a day for Musk. So if you multiply 100,000 times 8, that's 800,000 man hours that work in his system. So Elon manages, or he leverages 800,000 man hours per day. Even though he has 24 hours in the day, just like you and I, he leverages 800,000 man hours every single day. Now, as an investor, you're not leveraging people's time or efforts, you're leveraging your money. So where it would take you $250,000, $250,000 to purchase a home and then rent it out, right? Let's say the mortgage is $1,500. You rent it out to someone for $2,000. You're earning $500 every single month off of that property. Now you can actually become an investor with as little as $1,000, maybe even less. With our system, with our AI, you can literally become an investor with $1,000. So it's amazing what technology is able to do for the average person now. You can literally become a business owner and investor with very little upfront investment. And so if you want to get access to our system where you get Dawn's powerful transformation, one-of-a-kind transformation that nobody on this earth has, and if you want to get access to Apollo, our AI, which literally was $100,000 minimum deposit until we brought it to our community. It's only a one-time fee of $149 startup, meaning the first month it's 149, and then every month after that is $99 per month. And so after you use these products, you get amazing results for yourself, and you want to refer 3 people. Let's say you refer your mom, your dad, and your brother. Your membership is absolutely free. Okay, so if you're a customer and you refer 3 people, you get your membership for free. Now, we actually have a side to this where you can actually build a business and you can have a system similar to how Elon Musk has his system for his companies. We have a system for you to plug into and actually get access to our partner program where you can actually build in every single country in the world. Right now, we're at 20 countries worldwide, which is absolutely amazing. We're only less than 2 months into this, and we're already in 20 countries. So I'm going to talk about the partnership program. We're in the industry of network marketing. And if you don't know what network marketing is, it's one of the most powerful industries in the world today. It has over $200 billion in profit every single month. Actually does, yeah, it pays out, I'm sorry, it pays out $200 billion to its partners every single year. It's I think number 2 as far as most lucrative professions in the world today. And so what network marketing is, if you don't know, instead of companies paying millions and millions of dollars for advertising, commercials, billboards, all of these different traditional forms of marketing, what we do is we pay people like you and I to spread this via word of mouth because we're going to do it anyway. You go watch a nice movie, you go to dinner, guess what? You share it with people, but they never pay you. The movie theater or the restaurant never pays you for sharing it with others. But what we do is we take a portion of the profits. In fact, 80% of profits go towards paying out all of our partners. And so you have the ability to earn an infinite income potential anywhere from $100 a month all the way to $4 million every single month. Now you can earn a weekly residual income. And what residual income is, it's similar to like the real estate example where you're leveraging $250,000. If your mortgage is $1,500, you rent it out for $2,000. Now you're profiting $500 every single time they pay rent. Now here, I'll show you a much easier way to create $500 in residual income, meaning you do the work one time and you get paid over and over and over again, if not forever. There are also no qualifications or experience needed here. It doesn't matter about your resume. It doesn't matter about where you came from, what your religion is, what your color is. It doesn't matter your black, white, purple, orange, brown. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter if you went to the most prestigious schools like Yale or if you went to jail, just like me. I've been in jail. I've been divorced. I've gone through some crazy stuff in my life, and none of that really matters, right? We're all in the same equal level playing field, and we can create whatever it is that we want to create. And the last thing is that there are team building incentives. And so you're in business for yourself here, but you're not in business by yourself. You have a whole community, a whole support system to help you get to where you want to be. And so let's get into the juicy part, which is the compensation plan, aka the rank reward bonus. And so there's a couple of ranks, and so there's ranks. This is like the rank, the corporate role that you would be at. And then there's 2 qualifications that you need to hit. So the first one is called the network size. This is the total size of the network, the total size of the network. And then there's the personal referrals. So just to give you a little bit of context, doesn't matter what business you have or what business you're building. The only way a business actually gets paid is by creating a network. So for example, you have your family doctor. Let's say he has 100 patients that see him every 2 to 3 months. He also creates a network that he gets paid off of. right? Because 100 patients see him every 2 to 3 months. That's a network that he created that he gets paid off of. So the personal referrals are just simple. It's the people that you personally refer. And then there's 3 ways that you get paid. There's the weekly payouts, which get paid out every single Monday, which is today. We should be getting paid out any second now. And then we have our one-time rank bonuses, which get paid out once a month. So if you qualify for the rank bonus month 1, you get paid out first week, month 2. Then we have our direct bonuses. So normally it's $50 per membership. Until pre-launch, it's $100 per membership. And this gets paid out daily. So if you bring someone into the membership today, you get paid today. Absolutely awesome. So to hit the rank of inviter, you need 2 on your left team, 1 on your right, or vice versa, 2 on your right, 1 on your left. Out of those 3, you only need 2. So let's say you brought your mom in, your dad in, your dad goes out and he brings in his brother Bobby. Now you have 3 total. You're getting paid $25 a week, which is $100 a month. If you did this in your first month, just a little preview of what you could earn, it could be more. But let's say it's $100 on your left, $100 on your right. That's 200 plus the 100 over the period of 4 weeks. That's $300 total. Okay, awesome. Now connect to 200. The way that you're going to get to connect to 200 is by helping your mom and your dad do what you did, meaning hit inviter. So you help your mom hit inviter, your dad hit inviter. Now you're connected to 200. You got 4 on your left, 4 on your right. You still only brought 2. You're getting paid $50 a week, which is $200 a month. And then you get a one-time bonus of $200 the very first week of the next month. Now, connector 500, same thing. You're going to help your mom and dad help their people. Now, once you have 10 on your left, 10 on your right, you bring 2 only. You're getting paid $125 a week, which is $500 a month. And then you get a one-time bonus of $500 one time. Now, connector 900, 20 on your left, 20 on your right. Same thing. You just keep duplicating. You only bring 2. That's $225 a week, which is $900 a month, and then one-time rank bonus of $900. Awesome. Now connector 1500, 40 on your left, 40 on your right. Instead of only 2 total, you're gonna need 4 total. So 2 on your left, 2 on your right. Let's say it's your mom, your dad, then it's your brother and your sister. Now you are getting paid $375 a week, which is $1,500 a month, and then you get a one-time bonus of $1,500. Awesome. Network 3K, network 5K. You get paid $3,000 a month, $5,000 a month, and then it just goes on and on from there. So you can go part-time earning $500 a month. You can go full-time getting $9,000 a month, or you can go big time earning $25, $50, $100,000 every single month. And so at the rank of speaker 25K, you're earning $25,000 every single month. You actually get a new bonus. It's called the global pool bonus. So at the global pool bonus, what we do is we take 1% of all the global sales in the world, and we take 1% of it and we throw it into a pool where it's split amongst the number of shares that there are currently. So let's say there's 10 shares and then there's $1 million in the global pool. So $1 million divided by 10 is $100,000 per share. So you would earn an extra 100,000 per share that you owned. And so you get 1 share from speaker 25K all the way to master 500K, and then at master 750K you get 2 shares. So if you got 100,000 per share, now you would earn 200,000 per month. So at master 750K, 200,000, 200,000, 200,000, 200,000. Awesome. So maybe you're watching this and you're like, Sam, this sounds amazing, but I don't know if I could do this. There's 2 things I want to tell you. Number 1, this is why you need Don's program. So you can transcend the fear that is holding you back from accomplishing the things that you can do. Because really the only thing that's keeping you from accomplishing anything is this false narrative, this illusion of fear. right? So doing Don's program is going to help you transcend all that and operate from this pure potentiality of anything is possible. And then the second thing I'm going to share with you is a story of this girl I used to work with. It was about 8 years ago. I was working with this girl named Tiffany. She was 21 at the time, and she was working at this restaurant as a waitress. She was earning maybe $2,000 a month, maybe $2,000 a month, give or take. Could be around that. And she ended up joining the business I was building at the time. Nowhere near as good as this, by the way. And so she knew she knew she had to make a change because she wasn't happy with her life, right? And so she knew that if she kept on doing the same things over and over again, expecting different results, that was literally insanity. So she's like, okay, I know I need to do something different, so let me try this. She shared with me one day that she was extremely shy and introverted, and I said, look, Tiffany, all you have to do is make the invitation to the presentation, meaning get the most butts in the seats. And when you do that, it's really at that point, whenever the people see the information, they can make a decision for themselves, and then they can get started. When they get started, you get paid. And that's exactly what she did. And the thing is at that time, it was way harder to build this kind of business because we didn't really use Zoom like that. It was mostly Starbucks meetings in person. So Tiffany did that. After 3 months, Tiffany went from earning $2,000 a month at her waitressing job to earning over $15,000 every single month. And all she did was invite people, and then we would do the presentation, and then she would get paid. And so she also invited her mom and her uncle, and they both were earning over $10,000 a month within 3 months. And the crazy thing was that none of them, neither her mom, her uncle, or her did a single presentation until about 9 months into the business. I think her uncle maybe done one presentation his entire time. Her mom and her did a few more. And so if they could do it, you can do it. All you got to do is make the invitation to the presentation. We do these meetings just like this one twice a day, every day. And so all you got to do is get people to view this information, and whenever they see the vision, you get the reward. So we are in pre-launch right now, meaning we're at a ground floor. And so you have the best opportunity right now to be a part of this. When it comes to business, it's always about timing, timing, timing. You know, if you had invested in Apple stock when they first launched, you'd be a multi-millionaire. In fact, there's a huge difference between a consumer and an investor. If you just bought every single iPhone that ever came out, meaning you just bought their product, every iPhone since they came out, you'd have $20,000 US a year. It's bad. If you took that exact same 20,000 and you invested it in Apple stock at the right time in the beginning, you'd have $200 million today. So you have that exact same level of opportunity right here with Divinfi. You're at the very, very beginning. Except Divinfi is more than just a financial system. It's a movement towards both financial freedom and personal empowerment. So if you're in alignment with what we're creating here, if you're in alignment with our consciousness and currency vision to have the most enlightened and wealthy entrepreneurs, get back to the person that invited you and ask them for their unique link so they get the credit. And I hope you join us today. And with that being said, I'm going to announce a couple of promotions that we're having so that way you have a chance at winning some awesome prizes, because we like to do cool stuff, give free prizes away to our partners. And so if you come in and you direct 10 people to the ecosystem, meaning you directly enroll them to the ecosystem, you get a free GoPro. If you bring 20 directly, you get an iPhone. And if you bring 30 directly, you get a brand new MacBook. Doesn't matter if there's no first, second, third. Everyone gets the same chance. And if you hit the rank of connector 1500, you get a 3-day, 2-night stay at the hotel that we're hosting our very first event, which is going to be mid-October or a little bit after that. Or if you hit connector 3000, you get an all-inclusive, which is the flight, hotel, and then VIP access to the event. Just to make sure, this has to be done before August the 18th. So you have a little bit over half a month. I think it's going to be almost 20 days now, 20 days left. And so if you want to stay connected with all things Divinfi, scan this QR code and then follow us on Instagram, and then join our Telegram group, join our Facebook group, and we'll keep you posted on all things Divinfi in there. And with that being said, I'm going to open up for some Q&As and to answer any questions that you might have. And yep, if you're on Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube, feel free to ask some questions so I can get you all the right information. And then if you're here on Zoom, we'd love to answer any questions that you might have.
Just a quick one, Sam. With the Connect 1500, so that one there, the bonus, you have to hold that rank for 2 months. Is that correct?
For the $1,500 bonus, so for you're talking about the rank bonus?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's 2 months.
Right. So you hold that for 2 months, right? And the qualifying, you have to have 2 on either side.
No, for connector 1500, you need two on both sides.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
got
exactly.
It. All right. Keep working. Keep working.
You're pretty close to it, bro.
I'm working at it.
Yeah, I know you are. Anyone else have any questions? Oh, and just to clarify, that's for for the rank bonuses of connector 1500 and beyond, it has to be for 2 months. So,
right.
So connector 1500 and beyond. The first 4 you can hit it one time and then you're good. But connector 1500 and beyond, you have to hold it for 2 months.
Cool. Got it.
Barbara, Caesar, LK, any questions, comments, concerns, considerations? All right. Well, we're a couple minutes ahead of schedule. That's awesome. We'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Philippines time.
You're in fine form, brother. Fine form. That? You're a fine form.
Oh man, you should have seen me yesterday, bro. I was
really
not.
well tonight.
I was not doing good last night.
Thanks, I tell you what, I was praying for you, bro.
Hey man, I felt it.
Need that man back up.
Hey, well, I'm glad that you're able to take care of your people, bro. That was awesome.
Yeah. No, we had a great time. It was good. Awesome. Good result.
That's great. It sounds like your voice is a little gone.
Yeah. I've been doing a lot of talking. A lot of shouting.
I love it. All right,
I had
guys.
so many people ranking up. I'm like, yay! Yeah. Breathing.
I love it, man. It's so awesome to see. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna let y'all go. Hit me up if you need anything, and then if you want to be part of the pooled funds, let me know so we can get you in. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow at the morning AM session, PM session for America, but AM session for us here on this side of the world. You guys have a great day, night, afternoon.